Hey, what's up, faithful? It's your boy AB from the Bay to LA. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, show your boy some support, man. I'm out here trying to get it in for our Niners. You know, I'm just getting started. I've been doing this about probably 6 to 8 months. I'm learning some things and figuring a few things out. So really expect next season. It's gonna be big, especially on my page. I'm gonna be doing a lot. Just had to find my niche and figure out what it is and how I want to present things. And I'm getting there. So I appreciate all y'all that's already been down with me, rocking with me, man. Especially y'all on Instagram, especially on my Facebook page, 49ers Faithful. Hey, check us out, man. But anyways, it's 49ers. We're going to talk about our 49ers, right? It's off season. It's a lot going on. The Super Bowl is in less than a week. A lot of us Niner fans are salty. Matter of fact, let me just address this real quick. And this is probably going to turn some of y'all off. But hey, I hope I don't because I'm just trying to keep it real. I understand a lot of 49er fans are upset. We're not happy about, I guess, the Chiefs being in the Super Bowl and feeling like they've been cheating and, doing all these things to get there. And I agree, like the referees have helped the Chiefs out a lot, guys. But come on, man. At some point, we have to take accountability on ourselves, too. We had two chances to play them in the Super Bowl. Both of those times, we were up double digits in that game. We should have won those games. Yes, the referees had some bad calls or missed calls, but that doesn't take away the fact that we should have won those games and we were in. We were there to win them. We were in. We had the opportunity to win. We just didn't capitalize and we didn't finish. So to blame the Chiefs and to be so mad at them and the refs is like, I get it, but come on. At the end of the day, they beat us. We had our chances. And the refs didn't cause CMC to fumble. They didn't cause the muff punt. They didn't cause the blocked extra point. They didn't cause the missed assignment in overtime on the last play that Purdy got, basically drilled and he couldn't get the touchdown to Jennings. There's a lot of things in that game, man, that the referees had no hand in, and we had our opportunities and we just didn't capitalize. So I'm gonna move on from that, but I hear y'all and I understand. But as a football fan and as a Niner, I'm not going to put that much blame on it because we had chances. All these other teams and everyone else that's upset with the Chiefs, maybe they have some, a gripe. Maybe they have a valid gripe, like the Bills or somebody. But the 49ers, we had our chances and we didn't finish the job. So here we are. So anyways, like I said, it's off season. A lot going on. It's the 49ers. It would not be a 49er off season if there wasn't a lot of drama. So let's just talk about a couple of these things that have happened. Let's address it. I just want to talk about the offseason real quick. A couple of things that's happened and a couple of things I want to see. And, we'll see what happens. But I want to start off with probably, the 49ers have got off to a hell of a start in the offseason. They've gotten off to a hell of a start. They went out and they rehired Robert Saleh as our defensive coordinator. All 49er fans wanted this. I think we've argued over all kind of things for the last several years, but I think we finally found common ground with we all wanted Robert Saleh back. We all wanted him back. And guess what? We got him back. That guy brings so much energy. He brings so much expertise, experience. And you got to think, when we had him, he was a great defensive coordinator. Right? He was a hell of a defensive coordinator, which is why he was offered a head coaching job. So we had one of the best defense, if not the best defense in the league when he was the defensive coordinator. And then he went to the Jets. And what did he do? He didn't do so well as a head coach, but he's a defensive-minded coach, and his defense was always top tier out there. So he is a great defensive mind, and he is back in the Bay. And we only can benefit from that. And, we got players like Bosa and Fred Warner that just absolutely love this guy. And so do we. He's going to bring so much energy that has been missing. Defense, like all these guys are millionaires, right? These guys are dogs. These are alphas. You know what I mean? They go out there and they play their heart out every day. So they're going to play. But when you give them a coach that they relate to and that feels the way they feel, that helps. That helps them exceed. That helps them get to the next level. And we're about to see some of our players be unlocked to that next level because of Robert Salah coming back to San Francisco. You look at a player like Fred Warner. He's already an all-pro. He developed these skills under Robert Salah. So he's already an all-pro. So he's going to be even better now with Salah coming back. You look at a player like Diamanor Lenore. He wasn't around when Salah was here the first time, but this kid has elevated his game every single year, and he has now worked himself into being one of the top defensive backs in the entire NFL. And that's why I'm rocking his jersey, because I love the dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm from LA. This page is called the Bay to LA. Okay? So I'm from the soil of LA, but I love the 49ers. That's where I'm at. But when my Diamanor Lenore, he's from LA too. So when my guys are on the Niners, oh man, you already know I'm about to go hard for him. So he on the Niners, and his play has excelled every single season. And now you get somebody like this coach, a dog, somebody that's gonna actually like motivate you, physically motivate you, not mentally, but physically motivate you to go out there and play hard. You got a guy, we got a coach, and we got some players that are going to really benefit and take that next step because of him. You got someone like Malik Mustafa, a youngster, had his first year. You don't think that Robert Salah is going to teach him and coach him up? Man, him, Brown, Jair Brown, he had I wouldn't say a bad season, but his season fell off this year. We had bigger expectations. It didn't go as we wanted. And he took a step back, but now he has a great coach. He has a great coach to come out here and say, look, this is what we want to do. And he's going to motivate them to do it. And then you take you take someone like Nick Bosa, someone like Nick Bosa, and I already mentioned Fred Warner, and you have a core of those players and Diamanor Lenore, and then you got a mixture of young players like Mustafa, Ricardo Green. I think D Winners, I think this defense can do some things. Now, Hufanga, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with Hufanga. I personally don't think he'll be back, but if we happen to get him back, that's you just adding on. So my thing is, our defense wasn't great this year, but we got the pieces and we got the coaching to go out and make our defense great again. Make them great again. You know what I'm saying? Make the San Francisco 49ers defense great again. All right? So let's do that. And I believe it's going to happen. So we have a lot to be excited about. It's a great time right now for us as far as defense and the coaching we've been able to secure. Oh, man. And then Salah brought his boy Boyer with him as a special teams. Like, go look him up. Go look up his success rate and how good he's been over the last 10 years. Over the last 10 years, he's probably been the best special teams coach in all of football. And if not the best, he's been one of the best. So he's up there, and we got him, and Salah brought him with him. So I think things are looking up on defense. And as I'm speaking on that, I'll just get to the next guy. Our dog, the heart, Dre Greenlaw. Right. There's a lot of speculation going on with Mr. Greenlaw because he's going to be highly sought after. He's a great linebacker. He's proven himself. He's shown how great he can be. And the 49ers, they're going to want to bring him back. And, I think it was Nick Bosa. I have to go back and look, but he's already been on the record saying, Robert Salah has said, look, I want this guy back. So we're on the record wanting him back. Salah knows Dre Greenlaw is like another level to unlocking his defense that he wants. So they're going to go and do everything they can to try to convince him to come back, I mean. So with that being said, the problem is going to be financially. And that's where it gets extremely tricky when it comes to Greenlaw because, yes, we love him. We know he's a dog. We know what he is, right? We know what he does. He's shown us. We saw what happened when he went out of the Super Bowl and he was hurt. We saw what happened. We saw how much our defense suffered. We saw Travis Kelce get off. Ooh, my bad. We saw Travis Kelce get off once Greenlaw was out of there, right? So Greenlaw is a huge piece to our defense, but we also have to understand Dre Greenlaw is coming off a catastrophic injury, an Achilles tear, and he's only a year removed. And the thing about that's very tricky for the 49ers is, look, he came back and he played a few games. And look, when he played, he looked amazing. He looked great. He looked like he was the missing piece. But the problem was he couldn't finish those games he started. And I know some of this precautionary and you don't want to overwork him, but that's a concern when you go out there and pay somebody a lot of money. Will they be able to finish the season? Will they be able to finish games? So that's going to be, the jury is out on that when it comes to Dre Greenlaw. And that's why I believe that, there's probably going to be a team out there that's willing to give him a 2 or 3 year contract. But I think the 49ers, if they try to keep him, they're going to want to offer him a 1 year contract, kind of a prove it deal. Like, show me you still got it. Show me you can still get busy and finish the season or play most of our games. Because you gotta remember, I love Dre Greenlaw and I want him back as badly as possible. But the flip side of it is, what if, he's had a huge injury? What if it lingers? And you go out here and you sign him to a multi-year deal for millions of dollars, and then if he's not up to par with his health, the 49ers made a bad contract. So they have to play this one close, and it's going to be very interesting and intriguing to see what they do, because I want Greenlaw back. Everyone wants Greenlaw back. But you have to, look at the football and the business side of things and understand he's coming off a significant injury and he's going to command a decent amount of money. So you have to figure out what your risk versus what your reward is. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. I'm so interested. But yeah, our defense is I think that we can get things back together. And I'll just stick with defense right now. Thing I posted the other day was about Myles Garrett. Right, he's asking to be traded from the Browns. So look at this. Myles Garrett is asking to be traded. He's one of the best defensive ends in the entire league. Could you imagine Nick Bosa and Myles Garrett? Like, the 49ers defensive line would wreak havoc on every single team they've played. Everyone would fear them. And it just wouldn't even be fair if we got both of them on the defensive line. So with that being said, I've seen a lot of 49er fans saying there's no way we can get him. Financially, it doesn't work. He costs too much money. We got to sign Purdy. We got to do this and do that. But look, at the end of the day, David Lombardi, who, if you don't follow this guy, you have to go and follow him, because he breaks it down. He gives you numbers and facts. He doesn't do things for sensationalism or just to, for clicks and likes. And no, he breaks down facts. And I watched his thing the other day, and he basically broke down what it would take financially to get Myles Garrett. And what he said was like, well, look, we're in the running for him, because Myles Garrett is only owed $6.3 million as a cap hit next year and the year after. Think about that, $6.3 million. That's not a lot of money as far as a cap hit and the generational talent he is. So if that's the cap hit, and I trust Lombardi and what he says, if $6.3 million is a cap hit, the 49ers need to do whatever they can and they goddamn power to go out and get this guy and bring him in. And if you don't get him, you don't get him. But you better swing for the fences, because 6.3, you can get him for that. And yes, you probably got to renegotiate after a year or two. But look, we're trying to win now. We'll worry about that shit later. So you guys better go out there and get Myles Garrett. If you can't get him, I better hear that you guys at least made a legitimate try to get him, because that's a generational talent. Like I said, him and Bosa, man, it reminds me, in a sense, it reminds me of when Salah was back with us back in the 2019. We had Bosa and D Ford, and man, our D line unstoppable. So imagine if you go and get a Myles Garrett. He said he wants to compete for championships, and I believe him. So if he wants to do that, there's only about 5 or 6 teams out there that you can legitimately look at and say, look, if I go there, we're really a championship contender, and we can possibly win a championship. And the San Francisco 49ers are one of them. So if you want to win a fucking championship like we do, because we're so we're pissed. We're tired. We're tired of losing. I'll say that. We are tired of losing in the playoffs and tired of losing in the Super Bowl. We need somebody like you to come out here and solidify this line, and put in some work, and get us over the hump. And get paid to do it. So, Myles Garrett, it's on you. And look, if you need more money, I will go out there and start a GoFundMe. San Francisco 49er fans are worldwide or nationwide at the least. We are everywhere. And I guarantee it, if I start a GoFundMe, we will raise millions of dollars to bring Myles Garrett in. So let's get it done. And San Francisco 49ers, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, if y'all need somebody to go out there and get some extra money for us, start a GoFundMe, hit me up. Comment, hit me in the comments. I'll reach out, but I'll get back to y'all so we can get it done. Because, look, if we get Myles Garrett, it's over. It's over. It is over. So, I'm going to leave that at that. Myles Garrett, hopefully we can get him. We'll see what happens. The next thing I want to address is probably the biggest, most important decision our San Francisco 49ers will have to make over the next year. And that is the contract for one Brock Purdy. This is a highly discussed decision that will need to be made. Everyone has their opinion. The opinions are varying from everywhere. From you got players people like Cam Newton, who I wasn't feeling some of his commentary on Brock Purdy over the last couple of years, but he came out and said, hell yeah, Brock Purdy should get $60 million. If he can get it and that's what they want to pay him, take it. And I seen Mike Florio today. I seen him talking about, I would consider putting him on, a franchise tag and not signing him this year and making him prove it. I respect Florio. I've watched him and Chris Sims and their thing. I respect their opinions, but I didn't like that because it's like he's talking about, I would make him prove it. What do you mean prove it? Did you not watch his first 3 years of being in the NFL? Did he not show it by going to an NFC championship in his first year and then leading his team to a Super Bowl in his second year and overcoming Detroit, a 17-point deficit, and putting the team on his back to go to a Super Bowl and overcoming, I want to say, a 7 to 9 or 10-point deficit against the Green Bay Packers the game before that in the rain to take his team to a Super Bowl, and you still want him to prove it? You want him to prove it? Prove what, bro? He's proven it. And this is the argument, and I'm getting tired of arguing with 49er fans and whoever about Brock Purdy because that's our guy. He's proven it. What more does he need to prove? Yes, this season wasn't his greatest, but when you take away all the weapons that was taken away from him, and you put it with a shitty-ass offensive line, there's only maybe 1 or 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the history of the league that could possibly take that team to the playoffs. You know what I mean? I don't even think Patrick Mahomes could have took this damn team to the playoffs the way things unfolded, but you never know. But at the end of the day, y'all got to stop hating on Brock, man. Brock is just a young kid that don't say nothing to nobody. He ain't no arrogant villain. But people treat him like he is. They hate him. They don't want him to succeed. They wait for every moment, for every game, for him to have a bad game so they can get on their fucking internet and with the Twitter fingers. Hey, I told you guys this guy. I know I had to wait 28 games to say this, but I told you guys he's not that guy. Nah, man, he is that guy. Anybody that's his age, 25, I believe, or 26, has accomplished the things he's accomplished, and then you got the dumbass haters. Well, he only accomplished that because of the weapons he had around him. That pisses me off because everybody that's successful has weapons around them. Everybody. And there's a few, like I just said, there's a few quarterbacks in the history of the game that maybe not need a whole bunch of weapons and can still be consistent and win. But generally, if you want to win, if you want to win a Super Bowl, you better have your damn weapons. So for them to be like, Brock Purdy's only successful because of his weapons, I don't even want to argue with them guys. They're idiots. You guys are idiots. If you sit here and tell me Brock Purdy is only successful because of his weapons, then you are an idiot. Because every quarterback that achieves success is because of their weapons. That's how football works. You surround your quarterback with weapons. So Brock Purdy, because he was a last pick of the draft, he's a smaller guy. He's not a big arrogant. Like I said, because he's those things and he's a quiet dude, everyone wants to down him that it was his weapons. And I challenge you, other than maybe your Patrick Mahomes, he's an anomaly. You don't see that type of player every now and then. And then Brady. But outside of them two guys, please tell me who's been highly successful with no weapons. And even those guys have their weapons. Even Patrick Mahomes has Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? He has his weapons. He has very good receivers. You know, he had Tyreek Hill, like Brady. He had Gronk. He had Edelman. You know what I mean? He had Randy Moss once. He didn't win the ring that year. But they have their weapons. They have their weapons. They may not be superstar weapons, but they fit in, and that's what they do. And everybody gets mad and down talks Brock because he had the benefit of having good weapons. So fucking what? That's what happens in football. If you want to succeed, you better have your ass some good weapons. So I'm going to leave that at that. But look, Brock Purdy is our guy. You got people like Love, Tua, Stroud, Herbert, Lawrence, Murray, Cousins, all getting paid 50, 55 million plus, right? All these guys getting paid all this goddamn money and they ain't doing nothing. But they want to hate on my boy Brock because it's his time to get paid. Now, with that being said, I don't want him to get 60 million. I don't want him to get 65 million because I understand the implications that may have. That's going to hurt us financially. And I believe he's earned it, but I don't want that for him. If it's up to me, I want 50 to 55 mil for Brock a year. I think that's fair. I really think that's fair. 50 to 55 mil. And you also got to understand, there's a lot of misconceptions, and that's why I say go watch David Lombardi. He breaks down the whole the salary cap and implications and everything. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, 65 million is over. The 49ers are very savvy when it comes to the salary cap. They've been doing salary cap gymnastics for the last 4 or 5 years. So they understand. They're very savvy. And you better believe when they do sign Brock Purdy to this extension, it's not going, the front end, the first 2 or 3 years are not going to be overloaded. So we still have that window of opportunity within this first 2 or 3 years to really go out there and get some players. Because I'm like, let's just say Brock probably ain't going to, you can bookmark this, check it, whatever you want. Brock Purdy's probably not going to get paid more than 15 to 20 million annually as his annual pay over the next 1 or 2 years with the new contract that he signs, because they're going to backload it. And what does that do? That allows them to sign players over the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah, down the line, this could be an issue, but we're not talking about that. We're worried about right motherfucking now. The Super Bowl is in San Francisco next year or Santa Clara next year. We are worried about right now. And right now, if Brock Purdy signs his contract extension and he's only taking a $15 million cap hit, we got a lot of money to play around and look around. So I think Brock Purdy is going to, I don't know what he's going to sign for. I ain't going to tell him what to sign for, but I believe 50 to 55 million is fair. And regardless what he does sign for, just know the first year or two of that contract is very flexible, and we'll still have an opportunity to build our team. And one thing that really struck me was Brian Griese. I lived in Denver for a long time, so I'm very familiar with him. But he declined an opportunity for a head coaching interview with the Jets because he wants to stay with us. That tells me a lot. He believes in Brock, and he wants to develop the kid, and he wants to see it through. And I respect him for that. So, Brian Griese, salute to you. We thank you for staying, because one of the problems we've been having, and this is a good problem to have, I guess, is when you're very successful, these other teams are going to they're going to poach your coaches. You know what I'm saying? They're going to take them. They're going to take your coaches. And that's what we've seen happen, and that's what's been happening. So it was nice to see one of our coaches be like, yeah, nah, I don't even want to entertain that. So thank you. We appreciate that. And, and one more last thing I want to get to, man. I appreciate any of y'all that have watched my rant. The last thing is the draft, right? Because we're in a very peculiar situation. We have the 11th pick of the draft. That's when you're like, you're not really sorry, but you're not really good. You're in the middle, so you gotta, But either way you look at it, though, the draft is it's a crapshoot. It's a gamble. You don't know. You can have the first or second pick, and it not work out. You can have the 10th pick and it not work out. You can have the 15th pick and find a superstar. Like, you just never know, and that's that's how the draft goes, and that's how hard it is. But with us, we have the 11th pick, and everybody knows what we need: an offensive lineman. That's what everyone wants, or a defensive lineman, but mainly offensive lineman. But the two best offensive linemen will probably be off the board by the 11th pick. So when that happens, that puts us in a tough spot, because it's like, well, what do you do? What do? We got the 11th pick. We don't got two linemen that we wanted. Do we go and some suggested reach for that third lineman? And I don't remember his name right now, but the third projected offensive lineman, he's not projected to go until like the 20s. So it's like, do you reach? You're at 11. Do you reach for somebody that's not projected to be drafted until the late, last of the first round? I don't think so. I think at that position, you got to go out there and you got to go get the best player available. And I'm telling you right now, if that boy Warren from Penn State is available, he's a tight end. If he is available, the 49ers better do their due diligence on that and figure out if they should get him. Because I watched the kid. I've been watching him over this past year. And I've been, trying to get familiar with him. And you know who he reminds me of? Kittle. He reminds me a lot of George Kittle. And I know a lot of 49er fans will say, well, we have George Kittle. And yes, we do. And George Kittle is a beast. The best tight end in the game right now is George Kittle. But George Kittle is also over 30 years old. And he's a very physical player. You know what I mean? So depth is what we need, because you got to think, what if something ever happens to George Kittle that is a significant time frame, a 3-4 game, 4 to 8 games, 6 to 8 games, or a year? Like, any of those scenarios would severely hamper the 49ers, because we do not have a serviceable backup tight end. We don't have one. So they also need to figure that out. And if that boy is available, they're going to have to figure that out, man. I'm telling you now, because like I said, we love George Kittle, but we can't be just stuck in the moment. We also have to be looking forward. And football is football. What they say, Father Time is undefeated, and football is football. Look what happened to us this year with Brandon Ayuk. We signed him, then he has a catastrophic injury, right? Catastrophic injury, and he's out. So you can't count. You just can't count. You can't count stuff before it happens. Like, if you can't be like, look, oh well, we got George Kittle and he's great, and we'll just leave it at that. No, we have to also be looking forward. So if he's available, if Warren is available, I'm with it. But we'll see. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do. And speaking on Brandon Ayuk, when will he be back? Because that's another issue. What if Brandon Ayuk won't be back for at least half of the first season? I don't know that I'm comfortable with our current wide receiver construction. I don't think that I'm comfortable. You got a Deebo Samuel that, by all accounts, looked washed last year. So what? He's supposed to magically find the juice this year? I don't know. Then you got Juwan Jennings, he had a feeling for wide receiver 1, but personally, he's not a wide receiver 1 to me. He can put up good numbers. He's good. He's great. He's a dog. I love him. But a wide receiver 1 consistently game after game, that's not what his role was. And I don't think that's what his role should be, because he's not the separator. He's not the route runner like that. That's what Ayuk is. So Juwan Jennings, as great as he is, I don't want us to have to depend on him to try to be wide receiver 1. That to me is not logical, and if we have to go half a season without Ayuk. Like, but we'll see. We'll see because I do feel Jennings can fill in as a wide receiver one, but to be a permanent wide receiver one, I don't think that's his role. And with Ricky Pearsall, like we've seen what he's capable of in a few games. He's shown flashes, but he hasn't shown us enough to feel comfortable. Like, yes, this is what it is with him. This is the consistency, and this is what we're gonna get out of him year after year. And we'll see. I got a lot of love for him, and I think he has a ton of potential. But potential, that's the word, potential. We got to see it happen. And when you put that in there, so you're looking at Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, and Debo. I don't know. I don't feel really good about that wide receiver core. And Jacob Cowing, someone like, oh, Jacob Cowing, but has he shown us anything? Has Cal shown any trust in him yet? So there's a lot of issues there, and I believe if Ayuk is going to be out for significant time next season, the 49ers are going to have to go out there and find them another wide receiver. I'm not saying go get a top tier like a T. Higgins or something, but they might need to get some lower tier receivers that can help out because I'm not comfortable with this. But we'll see what happens. You never know. And I'm gonna end it on this. The Super Bowl is next week. You got your Chiefs and you got your damn Eagles, right? I don't like either one of them. And I've been I said this in a post I did before. I was trying to figure out who I want to win. I just had to come to the conclusion. It's more about who I want to lose. And I would love to see the Philadelphia Eagles lose. Yeah, it'd be nice to see, Patrick Mahomes and them not get their three-peat. That'd be cool too. So whoever loses, I'm going to be happy. I ain't going to even look at it like whoever wins. So we're going to see what happens. I appreciate y'all messing with me, man. Look, it's going to get better. I'm in touch with a couple other 49er podcasters that are, they got, they put in some work and got significant followers. So I'm about to latch on to some of that and get this stuff cracking, man, because next year, it's ours. It is ours, man. I'm telling you right now. Next year is ours. We got Robert Salah. Our defense is gonna get back on track. We're gonna get Christian McCaffrey back. Eventually, Ayuk back. The offense gonna be humming. The Super Bowl is in San Francisco. The script writers, they laid it out for us, and we gonna be back. So I ain't even tripping. But look, I appreciate y'all. It's your boy AB, the Beta LA. I'll get with y'all later. Salute.